Well, Iran just came within 300 yards of causing an international military incident. 4 Iranian vessels harassing a U.S. destroyer in the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. changing course to avert a conflict there. Former advisor to Vice President Cheney, John Hanna, says Iran is just toying with us. John, thanks for joining us. It feels, we've talked about this, particularly with the ransom payment, the faulty negotiations between Barack Obama and his desperation to have this Iranian nuclear deal, that they've been very belligerent before, but even more so since they've signed that deal.
Yeah, no, they are really twisting the knife in here, Charles, as you say. They are sending a message to this region that they are now calling the shots. All of America's former allies need to bend to their will. And as the Iranians frequently say, there's not a damn thing the Americans can do about it. As you say, just since the nuclear deal, they have conducted live-fire missile exercises in close proximity to our ships. They've flown drones at low altitude over our ships. And, of course, back in January, they took 10 of our American sailors hostage and completely humiliated them.
How do we push back against this? Of course, I think even more dangerous were about a month or so ago when China was buzzing our aircraft carriers in the China Sea, South China Sea. So when do we, or how do we push back? Because the lack of respect for the so-called share for the world just isn't there anymore.
Yeah, no, I think that is the great danger we are now headed into, Charles, is just that a sense of American weakness, fecklessness, the lack of credibility is in fact provoking responses from our worst enemies in the world. They think now that they are going to have a free run of it, and that's exactly when miscalculations occur and wars erupt. Deterrence breaks down. So I think the United States very soon is going to be well within its rights, although I don't think Obama will do it, to really take out one of these ships and send a very, very powerful message to the Iranians and to all of our adversaries around the world that America is not there to be pushed around anymore, that we will respond.
John, so it wasn't long ago, a few months ago, where Turkey took out a Russian plane, one of their warplanes, and said, listen, we warned them, they violated our airspace, and yes, we shot it down. Fast forward 2 months later, and Erdogan and Putin are buddy-buddy again. I mean, the idea that this administration is so intimidated and so concerned that, to your point, they're making things more dangerous, more fraught with vulnerabilities than if we took some sort of clear action.
Yeah, no question. I mean, in Erdogan's case, that's a NATO ally that was in a confrontation with Russia, and the Americans have made absolutely no move to actually involve the NATO alliance in this war in Syria, in this war against ISIS. And Putin, there's been no pushback to his establishment of a permanent military base inside of Syria, and now he looks like he's continuing to push into Iran and continuing to push into the Middle East militarily to completely freeze out American freedom of operations in that critical part of the world. And this is just letting our enemies, it's our enemies unleashed in the Middle East, unfortunately.
Yeah, and of course, Iran's going to play a major pivotal role there as well. Thank you very much, John. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.